Fuck, I'm up. Give it to them. Hey, give it to them. Come on. Hey, give it to them. Give it to them.
Peace, and welcome into the latest episode of
Fuck, I'm up. Give it to them. Hey, give it to them. Come on. Hey, give it to them.
All right, yeah. So y'all know what it is. It's another Give It to Them Friday. And I got my dynamic team with me. I got my man Josie. What up with you, Josie?
Man, another week down. Let's give it to them Friday. Certainly a whole lot of bullshit to get to y'all, get off our chests. But I tell y'all what, it's been a spectacular week. It's been a dynamic week for all of us. And I hope everybody out there giving it to them.
Say word P double, how you, my guy?
Peace and love. Check this out. I'm hungry. I want some pizza, man. I'm in Buffalo. We got the best pizza in the nation. If you agree with me, share, comment, subscribe. If you disagree with me, if you in Chicago somewhere and your pizza is a deep dish, look like a pie or something, let me know, because I ain't eating no deep dish pizza, man.
Not only that, but check Google for the list. We on the list.
Come on, man. If you don't like what P is saying, all you do is gotta
give it to them.
Give it to us in the comments.
We want y'all to give it to us too. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
It's all good. Exactly. It's all fair out here with us. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this next episode today, man. And what I'm gonna do is this, man. We're gonna get deep today in a lot of different things, man. We're gonna get into a lot of thinking on this episode. You know what I'm saying? So this first clip I'm gonna jump into with my fellas is this, man. When I saw it, it was a clip that I saw on Twitter, and when I looked at it, what got me to thinking, and then at the same time, I was like, see, it is as it's always been. So what I'm going to do is this, man, is I'm going to go ahead and share this video. And then when we come back, we're going to go ahead and react to it, man. So here we go.
You gave me a shoulder when I needed it. You showed me love when I wasn't feeling it. You helped me fight when I was giving in. And you made me laugh when I was losing it. 'Cause you are the reason why I'm still hanging on. 'Cause you are the reason why my head is still above water. And if I could, I'd get you the moon and give it to you. And if death was coming for you, I'd give my life.
Yeah, man, before I throw it to y'all, I'm going to say this. It's 2023. We live in the age of AI and everything else, cutting and splicing, and people can come with the attitude. You can make things look however you want it to look. So I want to say that before we get into this. So after that, Josie, I want you to go ahead, Josie, and tell me what you saw in that video and how it made you feel.
I think for me, like you said, we gonna get deep on this one, right? I feel like a couple of things happen, and I feel like the video gives you the information, but it's all about the vantage point. From the vantage point of the cameraman, the white guy walked up relatively slowly and was unassuming and was not aggressive. The black guy was moving relatively fast. It looked like he could see, and then he grabbed the person's arm and they jerked away like he might be trying to pull a flim flam, or he might be trying to pull some scam or some bullshit. So the general perception is, even if he not blind, just the fact that he's black, there is something to fear and he wants something from you. And I think that it's sad that they gave that vantage point in 2023, that a blind black man walking down the street has to literally fend for himself in the world, and a blind white man in the world, even at the disadvantage, has all of the help and resources he can muster. And I think that's what it says to me. Even blind, as a black person, we still have it harder than everybody else. Even with the disability, even with the disadvantages, no one looks at that person as unassuming or non-threatening. They're still threatened by the person that couldn't harm them if they wanted to. And that's the sad shit.
P, how you feel? What came through your mind when you first started watching this video?
The first thing I thought of was, I agree with a lot of what Josie said. Even though the gentleman, the black gentleman, was walking up fast, when they realized he was blind, they
still
didn't want to help him. But to me, when I see that, I just
even away from him.
Yeah, the first word that comes into my head is indoctrination. The second thing that comes to my head is you're programmed. You're sheep. You don't have any, you don't think for yourself. You know what I'm saying? The third thing is the people that control the mass media give impressions of black people that strike fear into the general public. Like Josie said, even though the gentleman is blind and he's black, they still subconsciously, because they're programmed and they're indoctrinated, and the mass media has always portrayed us as something negative, they feel like she's going to do something to me even if I help him, even though he can't see. You know what I'm saying? But if they see someone that looks like them, it doesn't matter. They're going to help.
It was a whole bunch of people that was different than him.
Right.
They just didn't feel threatened by him.
But then when it comes to us, like we were talking about last week, we just naturally, we take people in. Like the sister saw him, that she didn't care what color he was. It was a white. She was going, oh, you're blind. I'm going to help you. No matter what, I'm going to help you because you're human first. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what we're not getting no more.
It's sad. It's sad that people can be programmed and indoctrinated to a point where you don't even have any individual thoughts. You just following what, you know what I'm saying, the mass media is giving you. It's just horrible, man.
For me, when I actually saw it for the first time, I was disgusted by it, because it's like, at the end of the day, see me as an individual, and then also see me as handicapped. I'm looking for some sort of help, and I agree with both of y'all. And when y'all say the programming, and it's they program to think less of us. You know what I mean? No matter what it is, because we are who we are, we this way or that way. It's not that I'm a blind man, it's you're black. But it didn't have anything to do with him being blind, because when the other guy put his hand on those people and they saw that he was white, it was, it's good money. But as soon as they looked and got a grasp of that I'm a black man, you even see the one man, he tried to wipe
his arm off. Not only that, it was a bunch of folks that walked in the opposite direction away from him. They didn't even want to be near him.
So it's, as I said at the beginning, it's 2023. We've come a long way, but we've got eons and eons to go in order for it to break down the stereotypes and different things of that nature. And for the people who turn their back on us,
fuck out of here.
because
everybody with preconceived notions, hit me again.
Fuck out of here. And get to know us. Just looking at us, you wouldn't realize we got a lot in common. You have no idea. Just sit and talk with us. You'd be like, oh, you cool. I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Come talk to us, man.
It's disheartening, man. And as I said, we in 2023, and on this episode of all right, so yeah, man, this is Men of a Certain Age, man, and we always about the culture. We are a culture theme type show, and as we are rapidly approaching the 50th anniversary of hip hop, there's been a lot of talk about not enough love is being shared. It's not enough love being shared to the DJ. It's not enough love being shown to the producers. They're saying it's not enough love being shown to the women of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? During this episode, we definitely gonna delve into what we do here at Men of a Certain Age, which is the culture. You know what I mean? Before we get started, and in this next step, I want to play a piece of one of my favorites, and this is on the theme of what we're going to be going and talking about here today, y'all. So I want to blast this off one time, and then we're going to keep going. All right, here we go.
One time down. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment.
Listen.
Please help me. I'm a DJ. I'm dying. I need final. Please help me. I can't hold out much longer. I need final.
Yes, all Roughneck youth on tight, all Brooklyn man on tight, all Uptown crew on tight, Bronx man settle. I see you in the house, Darren in the house, D-Square in the house, Freddie Fox in the house, Teddy Buckley, you know you run beats for years. It's the Blast Master KRS-One stomping all sucker DJ crew. Of course you hear all commercialized album, but we come down Roughneck on Wicked in the BDP laboratory. What the sex and violence tip this year for 1992? Link to shout out to Chief. All crew on tight. No respect. No respect to all hardcore DJ. No respect to all commercial DJ. We bust shots all the way over to the West Coast. Sing. Now we're gonna come down Roughneck for the day because of course BDP crew don't play.
So yeah, man, shout out to my favorite 1A, 1B'er MC of all time, KRS-One, the Blast Master. And the reason why I chose that, fam, was in this 50th year of hip hop, you see what he said. No respect for commercial DJ. Only respect for hardcore DJ. You know what I'm saying? And what that does, that brings us back to the culture. You know what I'm saying? And last week, I posed a question. And the question was, are we too easy to let people into the culture? Do we just say, all right, yeah, he's cool, he's in here? As I said, I posed that question last week. So what I did was I pulled up a couple things, and I want you guys, as we always do, to react to it. So this first one, it's like a 3-minute, maybe a 4-minute clip. And it's a clip out, shout out to Ice Cube, you know, for sitting down and building. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into this Ice Cube clip, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about it. Cool?
Cool. Sounds good.
That we overplay the role of racial conflict in American life?
Yes. I think race, it takes up too much space. There's people that we all have in our lives who are same race that we can't stand. And there's people in our lives from other races that we get along with way better. It's not about race. It's not about color and gender and this and that. It's about who do you connect with? Who do you vibrate with? You know what I mean? Who's on the same wavelength? Who wants to be the same kind of person? Who wants to do the right thing when you want to do the right thing? That's who you connect with. So I think a lot of people make a lot of money off of the racists fighting against each other and bickering. And they the ones who push it in our face all the time that we're separate. And
does feel like there's more of that, doesn't there?
Yeah, it seems like it's like you're stuck in a bad movie and you can't get out. You can't find the exit and it continues to play on the screen and you're just running around looking for the exit, and this bad movie continues to just haunt you day by day by day. That's what we're caught in. A never-ending, winless battle of race and color, and we're worried about where you from. And hip-hop, what's great about hip-hop, like, it was a saying in hip-hop, early hip-hop. I think Rakim coined this phrase. It ain't where you from, it's where you at. And it's so true. It's not about where you come from. It's about where you at right now.
I'm not imagining that this stuff is being pushed on us, right?
No.
Much more than in, say, 1986.
Yes, I think so. Because in 1986, you had movies and television, and it was all scripted, and we knew this is a scripted show. But I think now you have so many so-called reality shows that basically push the same thing, but in a reality-like setting. You'll watch a movie on race, okay? And you flip the channel now, you're watching a somewhat like documentary reality show that's highlighting and magnifying race and status and where you belong in this country and where you don't. And we're highlighting the bad guys here. We're highlighting the good guys. It's just, it's always really.
Yeah, man. Peace. First, let me say before we get started, and I'm going to come to you first, P. No respect for all commercial DJ. Go ahead, P.
First of all, if you're going to do an interview with someone, I mean, at least do it with someone with some credibility. Tucker Carlson is an admitted, known liar. He'll tell you he lies on a regular basis. He'll tell you he don't want to lie on the air, but he does it sometimes if he feels like he's backed in the corner. He'll tell you, I lie on a regular basis. So if I'm Q, not only am I not going to choose him because he's from Fox, a known entertainment when it comes to telling the truth, they consider themselves entertainment. You know what I mean? But his angle, I think, is combined with the big three. This is my theory. He's not getting what he needs for the big three. He feels like the NBA isn't giving him any assistance, but why would they? That's the competition. I got to go and talk to someone where I can get a whole nother base of people to watch my league. If I go to Tucker, I know Tucker has a base of people that probably are really not into basketball or black people, period. But if they see Ice Cube, they go, oh, he's one of the good ones. Maybe I'll go check out the big three. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about you can have your convictions and have your square, but if it's all about the bag, you're going to jump out of that square and you're going to say what you got to say to get your eyes on the league that's going to make you money. You know what I'm saying? And I think Cube, in that sense, is when commercial on us. Chris said, I'm on some commercial, but commercial shit, but still in all, if you're, like I said before, black people aren't a monolith. We're different. He is on some, I got money, so a lot of this racial stuff really don't affect me because I got money. So it affects other people in other ways. He's in a position where it doesn't affect him, so to him, it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? So that's just my take on it. I want to give you guys an opportunity to say something because I don't want to get on my soapbox because there's a lot more that I could say. But
go ahead, Josie, get up, go off.
So again, I'm always gonna give you a skewed view. I look at things a little differently. I see things a little differently. And I think for me, Cube has always been an outspoken person. And anybody that think that he became a multi-platinum artist and then a movie producer slash actor slash movie writer, then you have to look at it like he been commercial. And I think that in light of that, if you look at the media before this, he's been talking about the NBA not only not liking him, but fucking with him because they have a monopoly on the shit. So they're trying to shut his shit down and give him a hard time. And like you said, that's general competition. If you're going to go against Goliath with a slingshot, you got to expect to take some blows. That's just how it is. So I'm assuming that because he's taking the blows and because he doesn't have the financial power to fight the NBA, I think that he's taking a page out of Kanye's book and saying, I can get as much free publicity if I want, if I become the squeaky wheel. And if I talk about things that I know will generate a response that will provoke conversation, it don't have to be right or wrong. It just has to be indifferent than the popular thought. And then that provoke the herd to have a conversation about it. And because of that, I'm on everybody's lips. I'm on everybody's podcast. I'm on everybody's journal. I'm on everybody's write-up or blog. And I ain't have to pay a dime for it. And because of that, same thing as with Kanye, either extremely stupid or fucking genius. Because it can hurt him real bad or it can help him real good.
So, yeah, you said it earlier when you said he's been a commercial DJ from coming through the door. He's been a commercial DJ. You sit back and think about, it's rich to me that Tucker Carlson of all people going to ask a black man about race issues, and then the black man going to go tap dance on it and say it's being monetized. Who is it being monetized by? Is being monetized by whom?
But I think that's
for how long has it been being monetized? You know what I'm saying? So
I think that's what he's saying, but that's the hypocritical shit. You trying to point out that they monetizing, but you keep getting into bed with all of the people that are monetizing and making the millions of dollars. You complaining about the media, but you going on this media tour with somebody that you clearly don't have a common viewpoint in. But like P said, he has a wider audience, so I need to do it there instead of where I could. Why you go to Chuck D and go on Bring the Noise and do that shit?
He's gone on other platforms. He was on with Cam.
Ron, he was on, yeah.
He was on with Cam, and I don't. I can't think of the other black.
He's been on a bunch of joints.
Well, he's working all the angles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But again, Tucker Carlson only interviews the commercial DJ. He said, who was the other person he interviewed? Yo boy, Josie, Kanye.
He only trying to advance his audience too. We can't be mad at him for trying to get more eyeballs.
Who's trying to advance his audience?
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker don't care
gonna bring people on who gonna advance his audience. He's not gonna bring on the nobody know about, because then you gotta educate the people. He just want to bring on the motherfucker that everybody talking about anyway and throw gas to the fire.
Again, he gonna bring on the commercial DJ to bring on his commercial following, the rest of his sheep. You know what I mean? And like you were saying, if he wanted to get a true perspective of what's going on, he could have sat down with KRS. He could have sat down with Chuck D. I could go on and on people he could have sat down with if he truly wanted to get into some racism type talk. You're gonna get this man up there, and then he gonna act like it's not there, or it's only being perpetuated one way or by a certain amount of people. But since you brought up Kanye, we're gonna move to Kanye next. So
I just before we do that, I just want to make a point. I think that he wasn't necessarily saying it wasn't happening. I think he has an argument that's common these days, which also Kanye has made, that says we talk about it too much. And that's because, just like we went through with the last video, it's fucking happening to us every fucking day.
Right. So how are we talking about it too much?
How is that even an argument?
And how is he sitting up there going to play like, no, it ain't really real? You know what I mean?
It's not happening to him. He's not in those environments anymore. He's oblivious to the plight of his people.
Exactly. That was my whole point.
Commercial DJ. So as we go along, man, the next one is Kanye. Take a look at this heading for Kanye West. Kanye West releases new KKK-inspired hoodie. His daughter, North, modeling the KKK hoodie. Let me just go first on this one. How on God's green earth can you put something out like this? Do you know what type of torture and type of fear that this particular outfit has put on us as a people? My parents are from Coldwater, Mississippi, born and raised. My grandparents are from Mississippi. So it's no question throughout their life, at some point throughout their lives, they seen this very thing. And it wasn't coming up to turn a corner, looking at me, I'm fresh because I got the Ku Klux Klan hoodie suit on, man. This is so disrespectful, man. And it's hurtful, man. And I don't give a damn about it. People talk about I'm a free thinker this and I'm a free thinker that. No, what that is you sold yourself to money, is what that is. Free thinking ain't about not thinking what the masses is doing. Free thinking is about being about that dollar. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, fuck Kanye West, man. Yeah, I would say F you to your daughter too, but she a kid. She don't really know what the hell she doing. So fuck Kanye West again. And with that being said, P, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let you go ahead and go in.
My grandmother's from Selma, Alabama, and when she was a kid, she told me stories about the Klan having actual parades in the streets where the kids would have on something similar to that outfit. She said she wanted to cross the street one day, and an older person told her, young lady, you can't cross the street. There's a Klan march. Don't you see these white sheets? And my grandmother, being the person that she is, she's like, I got to go home or I'm going to be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So she walked through the, you know what I'm saying, the actual parade, which was brave at 8 years old. But she knew that she could lose her life doing it. This isn't a joke, man. You know what I mean? like Fro said, you can be a free thinker, but what it boils down to is the dollar and what can I do? What can I actually do to get everybody to notice me so I can make this money? You know what I'm saying? And that's his thought process. He has no respect for his history or people that came before him or people that died before him. He's an artist. He's into fashion. People died for him to be able to actually do the things that he's doing. You know what I mean? And people died at the hands of the Klan. You know what I mean? How do you do that? I have no respect for anything that has to do with the just killing of people, burning crosses in front of people's houses because you don't want them there. It's just, how far can you actually go, Kanye? You know what I mean? How far can you go? What else is there? What's next? You know what I'm saying? You've already done things when it came to Confederate flag. It's just the White Lives Matter, and now it's the Klan. We don't know what that is. You know, so what's his excuse going to be? Is what my question is.
Go ahead, Josie. Go off.
Again, the skew view. For me, what I see is the fact that motherfucker has mastered the art of getting the most publicity for the least amount of money. And I see him designing a $100 hoodie and having it made and taking a picture and get more publicity than he could have fucking paid for anywhere else. And I also think, again,
so as long as you can make $1 off of it, it's okay, is what you're saying.
I think that he's flipping it, and that was also what I was about to say. In his mind and in everybody else's, there are a bunch of culture vultures that are making money off our culture. Why not him monetize off theirs? Confederate flag, the hoodie, all of the rest of that shit is him monetizing off their culture, their bullshit, and making money so that he can continue his ventures and his vision. Can't necessarily say that he ain't genius for that. I can't say he ain't genius for the publicity stunts he pulled. But I do agree that making a mockery of all the pain that we've experienced with the Ku Klux Klan and the genocide and the racial divide and all of the things like we explained in the very first video of this episode that we're still experiencing July 2023 is the reason why some of that stuff again is causing a stir that we don't need. And there are so many other ways that he can make money that it doesn't make sense for him to do it this way. But we not Kanye. We don't know why this is. And that ain't an official statement. That ain't nothing from his company. It ain't nothing confirming that's actually what's happening. So it's all hearsay put into a blog and spent on some bullshit. Until it's an official lease from a company that he represent or own saying they selling that, I don't know what that is. Or who that is in the picture.
So he monetizing off of their culture, but their culture is a culture of killing us.
Correct.
That's extremely disrespectful.
And he don't seem to care nothing about that. Yeah. Again, in his mind, that's the shit that they gonna pay for. The NRA, the KKK, the Proud Boys. You put some shit up saying you need support for that, they gonna throw the fucking sink at it. So why not? Give it to them. Give it to them.
I look at it as a way of trick knowledge. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Same thing with Tucker Carlson sitting up there with Ice Cube and asking him about the racism. You know what I mean? Shit, in the state of Florida, they trying to talk about that how slavery was a
benefit. Yeah.
That's DeSantis, though. He been a dick and he been saying racist, raunchy, asshole shit. Which is why, again, it don't make no sense for motherfuckers to be trying to ignore the shit going on when it's on video being replayed several times a day. Like, how much more do y'all fucking need?
Well, see, that's my point. When you got commercial DJ like Ice Cube talking to Tucker Carlson and playing it down, there ain't no isms out here. Right. The isms is being peddled. That's how they perpetuate the shit to make the shit go away. Once again, trick knowledge. There's another article I'm gonna show y'all, and then we're gonna come back and talk about this one. All right.
One more thing though, and again, in Cube's defense, what I heard was it's a lot of emphasis being put on the conversation about race and not the fact that inclusion and being able to vibrate with people of all races, creeds, and colors is the way that you should live your life. It's not necessarily a situation where we should be focused on the race, because it's assholes, dickheads, robbers, and killers in all of our races, and we can't excuse that shit and act like it's just us or it's just them.
But one side is perpetuating the shit and has been perpetuating the shit and been making money off of it from the beginning. So we're going to go to this next article, then we're going to react to this one. It says a poll. Trump voters say racism against white Americans is a bigger problem than racism against Black Americans. Okay, Josie, react now. What?
That's all I got to say. Woo! That's a stretch.
I'm gonna put that one back up there again, P. Trump voters say racism against white Americans is a bigger problem than racism against Black Americans.
Wow.
That's his man. That's his team. That's how his team feel, and that's like a good 40% of what we got going on here, P. When you look at that and you think about, again, the question Tucker Carlson asked Ice Cube, and then again, you think about Kanye, if it's real or not, KKK hoodies, where we at with it?
It's like a reversal of everything. You're looking for a struggle. You know what I mean?
You're looking for shock value.
Yeah. You don't have you have some historical struggle, but nothing that compares to the free labor of that's Black slaves that weren't actual slaves, to go back to what DeSantis and the education thing was doing. When they took people, they took geniuses, they took agriculturists, they took doctors. They didn't just take people. These people were already intelligent when they grabbed them. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about skills that benefited them, they already had skills when they got here. There's so many inventions that they created to make their work life better that they weren't getting paid for, that we still use to this day. But again, it's like they're looking for a struggle that's not there. They're looking to get a one-up and make it seem as if that the struggle and the racism that we actually have to this day is insignificant. Ice Cube with Tucker Carlson trying to make it insignificant. Kanye with the hoodies and the White Lives Matter t-shirts and trying to make it insignificant. They're trying to erase the historical facts, you know what I'm saying, by coming together with people who don't have those views. You know what I mean? That's what Fro said earlier. Tucker Carlson's not going to have an interview with Chris One or with even Michael Eric Dyson. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to do that because he knows he's going to be in for an actual debate. You know what I'm saying? With some facts. So it's you're looking for a struggle. You're looking to be put in the area where you feel like you can get an advantage. Oh, we were indentured and yeah, but it wasn't to that level. You know what I'm saying? So it's disheartening that we're in 2023 and we're still dealing with this. Let's say we got eons and eons to go, man. It's crazy.
Josie?
I think again, see, we still missing the point. And I just want to offer the skewed view. Kanye and Ice Cube are taking a playbook out of no. out of the best spin artists in the world, the Republican and the Democratic parties. And nobody has been able to take bullshit and spin it and get free publicity from it, a political candidate running for office. And they are the best at being able to put out shock value just to get people talking. Regardless of what we say about the topic or how we feel about it, what it does is provoke the conversation. And that keeps it in our face, keeps it in the media, keeps us talking about it. And that's what's perpetuating the bullshit.
I just look at those people saying that white racism is greater than black racism, and not there is no white racism. There is no white
We're
racism.
calling you on your bullshit, and we see you.
There is no white racism. So for the Europeans to be out here thinking that way and
it's
thinking
hilarious
that they have some reverse discrimination going against them.
Delusional. Fuck out of here. It's delusional.
For real with that shit. You know what I mean? So we're gonna keep it moving, what on this.
Yeah, fuck, I'm up, give it to them. Hey, give it to them. Come on, hey, give it to them.
See, man, I love chopping it up with y'all, man. I mean, it speeds the heartbeat, man. It elevates the mind. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So again, as I said, we are for the culture, and we speak about things that revolve around in the culture. This is the 50th anniversary of hip hop. There's been talk about not enough love going around, as I said earlier. One of the guys that I listen to, and I'm speaking about the brother Lord Jamar, man. Shout out to Lord Jamar, man. And with this being, again, the 50th year of hip hop, they're saying there's not a love going around for the females of hip hop. And for me, the females is like the biggest artists out right now in hip hop. What I'm going to do is this, man, is we're going to listen to this little clip from Lord J. Listen to what he has to say. It may be about 2 to 3 minutes long. We're going to listen to what he has to say, and then we're going to come back and do what we do about it.
You know how for the longest time, black women in hip hop would act as if somebody said it's that, my boy. Uh-oh. No. As if women in hip hop was being oppressed. Ice is an independent thinker on a mission. Facts. Thank you, Fela B. Yeah, women would act like they were oppressed as far as how they were portrayed in hip hop by men, that we were misogynists and we talked about women in a certain way that was negative and blah, 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 blah. And it was not a lot of women in hip hop and all this type of shit. Fast forward to 2023. I could name quite a few women right off the back right now. Nicki Minaj, Glorilla. You got this big sexy red or whatever. You got Ice Spice. You got what's her name? Get the fuck out New York. What's her name? Get the fuck out New York. I'm not playing with you. That shit remind me of the lion from the Wizard of Oz. Put your dukes up. Get the fuck out New York. We don't like you no more. Get the fuck out New York. Damn, what's homegirl's name? Anyway, y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. Bunch of sisters right now. You got Sukiyana. Mm. So my thing is, and shout out to our queen, Rod Digger. She not here right now. Scar Lip, that's her name. Scar Lip. Thank you. Get the fuck out of New York. Why are you there? Why are you there? So my thing is, there's never been a time more prominent where there's been such an abundance of women who are like doing shit. Glorilla, all these motherfuckers that are like got hits and on the charts and people know who the fuck they are and they're making money. Da 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 da. So y'all got your chance, sisters, and look at the way y'all choose to portray yourselves.
So yeah, man. Peace to Lord Jamar. Y'all check out Lord Jamar on the Godcast, man. That's a
Peace.
nice podcast Lord J got going. And funny, definitely thought provoking. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna come to you first, Josie, and you go ahead and
Give it to them. I'm up. Give it to them. Hey, give it to them. Come on. Hey, give it to them. Give it to them.
So I know you got bombs to drop. I wish I had a flex bomb to drop for you, but I
Boom, 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 boom. No.
go ahead and do what you do, fam.
Listen, so I really, again, always see this shit differently. And I think that for me, we always, and I think that's an advantage of us as a people, we always have been able to take a negative and turn it into a positive. And we have always been able to take what was perceived as something wrong and make it something right, kind of flip the script on it. The big dude became Skinny Pete, or the skinny dude became Big Pete, or all kind of wild, crazy shit like that. So for me, at the time that Lord Jamar is talking about, he's right. Most of the progressive women had a problem with the women using sex to sell records, and they wanted to be able to compete on their lyricism. They wanted to be able to compete on their impact in the culture. They wanted to be seen as one of the guys. Fast forward to 2023, they've learned that whatever you called me is what they want to hear. That's why you sold records. So I'm going to say that shit too, because that's what they want to hear. And that means I'm going to sell records. And I don't give a fuck how you feel about it, because I got signed or I'm independently putting on myself, and you can't stop me from saying this shit. And for that, every queen that's making money with shit that they was called or told that they was, and they using it to their advantage, is a G and a genius. I again applaud that type of shit, because you can't stop them women. Now, that being said, I think that we ignore a lot of the women that are out that do not rap that way, that do not have those characteristics in their songs, that do not speak about those things, and we don't give those women enough burn. So we need to start looking for better content if we want better results. But it's always going to be a certain portion of the market, like we've been talking about, that's going to want that ratchet, raw hood shit. And that's what these people are that he's talking about. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Get the people what they want. But I also want the Rhapsody. I also want the Rod Digger. I also want the Lauryn Hill. And I also want any woman that rap like that can make me think about what she's saying. Because I'm checking for the lyrics. I'm not checking for the beat and the joints that's on the charts and the commercial DJ. I'm checking for the underground DJ and the mixtape DJ who putting out the next new hot shit. If you checking for the radio, then there you go. You're going to be looking at the charts and looking at these people who putting out hits that ain't necessarily
So
even lukewarm.
That's it. That's what they promoting. They not promoting the Rhapsody, and they promoting the WAP. Go ahead, P. Go in.
Coming to the stage is Diamond. She got stars on her.
But don't forget she got bars.
Coming to the stage, we got her coming out. Business stripper culture. That's what we dealing with right now. It's stripper culture. It's
strip clubs make tens of millions of dollars.
Okay, we understand that, Josie, and we understand that you're a super capitalist, and all that matters is bread and money.
No, long as we ain't hurting nobody. They ain't hurting nobody.
We ain't hurting nobody.
Niggas don't mind going to eating chicken wings, going in the strip club, putting dollars in her thong. And
yeah, I think it's a culture of hip hop where I don't even know if it's considered hip hop or not, but it's whore culture. It's stripper culture. It's disrespectful. Now, later on in life, what's going to happen when, say, Cardi B's, one of her children come up to her, and mommy, what was that song what if she come to her singing Wet Ass Pussy? You know what I'm saying? You have to realize you have a voice now. You have a voice again back when I was saying earlier, you got a voice that people died for you to have. And Lord Jamar was saying, this is what you choose. So money-wise, again, Josie, money-wise, okay, I'm going to say what I got to say to get this money. But where does the morality come in? Is there any more? Do we care? It doesn't matter. As long as you get paid.
Ain't nobody had no morality when Teddy Pendergrass was singing about hitting that ass, or he was fucking Luther Vandross. I don't think they were. Care. Okay, they said it's subtle, but ain't nobody care when they was talking about it.
I don't think he had a cup on and his ass out when he was singing it either, though.
Larry Blackman did. Larry Blackman did.
He was covered up, though.
I'm just saying. It's always been some freaks out there.
Okay, again, you have your choice.
Rick James, ain't nobody say nothing with Rick James, bitch. Ain't nobody, don't nobody care when it's Rick.
It was Rick James. It was subtle, and he was talking about Mary Jane, but he wasn't just come out and go smoke weed and this, that, and the third. He was calling it Mary Jane. It was artistic.
You gonna get money with this
and Rick James was an actual artist. He played instruments. He wrote music. You know what I'm saying? Again, you have a choice to either you're going to go to Latifah, Moni Love, Lauryn Hill, MC Lyte, Heather B. Way, or you're going to be like, wait a minute. I can get this money doing it this way, regardless of how I'm portrayed. But later on in life, you're going to have to deal with that because this stuff is all, you know what I'm saying? This is all recorded. This is what you're doing. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not particularly a fan. As my daughter is calling me right now, I'm not particularly a fan, and I would, you know what I'm saying? I'm respectful, and I would like for her to be that way also.
I think it's a market for that, though. That's grown folks' music. They ain't for your kids, and if you can't,
my daughter is grown folks.
To that, right? She grown now. She should be listening to that women's anthem. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Why are you mad at that?
But I'm saying she was young at one point, and it wasn't like she wasn't.
I need both markets. I need the Cardi B's, the fucking Sukianas, and the City Girls, as well as the Lauryn Hills and the Raw Diggers and the Bahamas and the MC Lights. I need them all.
So I need all that diversity. Check this out, man. The theme of that clip I played from KRS-One is from his album, and the name of his album at that time was Sex and Violence. And that was 1992. And what he was saying is the commercial DJ is taking over the industry. Mm-hmm. That person from outside of the culture is now influencing the culture. And pushing it this way. I listened to yesterday, man. I listened to Criminal Minded. I listened to Born to Be Wild. I listened to EPMD's first albums purposely. Those albums were prior to 1989, 88, 89. You know how many bitches, hoes, and niggas I got onto those 4 albums? You know how many I got? I got one.
One, probably. Two.
One bitch on that. And that was when Scott LaRock had them all on that.
But I think, again, though, that's
Can I finish my point, man?
Go ahead. That's a skewed view, though.
How was that a skewed view? Those albums didn't have any derogatory bitch, nigga, none of that. Now
because they was trying to get them played. They censored their own shit.
They had the explicit content at that time as well, Josie.
And the ones that had the stickers is the ones that had the bitch the hoes in.
No, they did not. Let me finish. Can I please? Thank you. And also, all of that didn't come about until the commercial DJs and them came along, which was the NWAs. You know what I'm saying? And who was pushing the NWAs? The Jerry Hellers. And that's when all of that nigga this and hold that and all of that, drinking this and that. Who was the first person to peddle a 40? Who was the first person you saw had a 40 commercial? I'll end it for you. Ice Cube.
Oh, yeah.
He been the commercial DJ. Now, going back to what Lord Jamar was saying in the beginning, I don't have a daughter. You know what I'm saying? I have nieces. You know what I'm saying? And I look at the music that's going on around, and it's super sexual. When it doesn't have to be. Those girls do not have, they could have made a song about anything, but they're going to make the song about wet ass pussy. You know what I mean? And it's cool to have that song, but if that song is your B-side to your single, not your single that you putting out for the masses to hear. We all on Instagram, and we see Instagram. All is young girls popping they behind. You know what I'm saying? And it's influence. It's the influence of the culture, man. And that's why I posed the question, are we too quick to allow these culture vultures to come in and plant their wings and their seeds and take it to wherever they want to go? Now go ahead, Mr. Skew View, go ahead and give you.
I again think at the time that we're talking about, there was a lot going on with people trying to stop them from saying what they wanted to say and being able to say these things and give the viewpoints of what was going on in their environment the way that they wanted to without scrutiny. And if you put out music that had those words in it, there was the powers that be that could put processes in place and campaigns in place to stop your music from selling. They can't do that to these young kids now. And that's the reason why we get in such an advanced view of what that looks like. The ass shaking, the selling the sex, the all ratchet music at all times. But it is other stuff out there. We just don't pay attention to it. That's not the shit that get the views. That's not the shit that's getting played on the radio. That's not the shit that we spend for. And even if we put out different music, we don't support it. I sent y'all a couple of joints that was some decent stuff from new artists that was girls. I think it was a girl named A Vibe Called Bless. I like what she doing, trying to come up with her own style based on the tribe. It's a lot of people out there that's giving different viewpoints. We just don't support it. If we want to stop the horror culture and the ratchet shit, we have to support something else.
I'm a man of a certain age. You sending me a song or something of that nature is a lot different than sending a song to a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. The record companies are not pushing the positive.
No.
They pushing the WAP. And that's what they did way back in the day when we had the conscious rap and the brothers wasn't spitting shit this, fuck, whole bitch, that. It was cool too. It was cool then when they wasn't doing all of that. Rakim didn't cuss at all. I don't know Rakim cussing to this day. You know what I'm saying? Of course I cuss. You know what I mean? You cuss. We all cuss. But at the same certain time, we got a responsibility, man. And it ain't always about making a fucking dollar, Josie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because they also say all money ain't good money, and they ain't never lied about that one.
Tell that to the movie producers and the TV producers. You don't say that shit about Snowfall. You don't say that shit about none of the movies you watch that glorify drugs and violence. Stop putting it on the women and put it on us. If we don't want to glorify their culture, we shouldn't fucking support it. Period.
I don't support it, but they ain't marketing it for me.
How don't you support it? You the first one to catch a Snowfall episode and follow the season. How is that not supporting the drug culture?
I think that's watching TV. That ain't got nothing to do with supporting.
I think this is
culture.
Just listening to a song. You could also turn it off, just like you could turn off the TV.
Let me just throw this at you. So you remember back in the days, everybody was talking about crack was whack. P just said about Shinehead, right? What was the song Shiny and had, P?
Don't give me no crack. Crack.
All right. And nowadays, they talking about popping pills and throwing all that shit to your head. Now, if way back then the rappers was talking about smoke crack is cool, guess what? It would have been a lot more of us smoking crack and doing all of that type of thing. So it has a cause and effects, my dog. You know what I'm saying?
I think it all has a cause and effect, but I also think that, again, the music and the TV and the movies mimic what I see outside any fucking way. If you take it off the TV or the radio, I still got to go outside. You can't keep me from this shit. That's what I'm saying. You can keep the people in the suburbs from experiencing the shit in the inner city because they're not there. But the rest of us that's sitting in that shit, that's dodging bullets and going to the store, worried about getting robbed and blocking our cars at night because motherfucker might steal your shit and all of that. Yeah, we outside with the shit. The people are only speaking about what they're going through.
So that's what they took going through is the wet ass pussy. That's the reason why they making the song is because that's what they going through.
Absolutely. If you don't think that
or sex
no. If you don't think that fucking Cardi B sat and thought about putting that shit out and the impact that it would have for her positively and negatively, then you crazy. But I think that, again, the positive outweighs the negative in this scenario. She ain't hurt nobody talking about herself. And again, that's what they buying. She also has conscious songs where she talk about real shit or tell stories. You see any blogs and stories about that?
That's not being pushed.
Or that's exactly, right. Is that what they buying or that's what's being pushed?
Both.
Okay. So my next question is this. You listening to Wet Ass Pussy with your daughters?
When they 21 and over? Absolutely. I'm in the club dancing to that shit. That shit hot. How you not?
Exactly. Never. That's the point, fam.
They grown-ass women. If you think that, come on, man. We can stop with the little girl fantasy once they grown. They grown. I can see protecting them once they little, but once they grown, yes, I think that she deserves to be a fucking grown woman and do her own thing. I can't hold her from derogatory statements or risque content or, come on, man, that's crazy. She grown as hell.
I'll be back.
But again, I have two young twin daughters and an older daughter, and I think that I completely understand that there is some moral conflict with the content and that the young girls in the world need to be protected from it being viewed and played on the airways everywhere.
How is that going to happen, Josie? They're not protected from it. They can get.
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying they're not. There needs to be, but there's not. So I understand the argument, but at the same time, there's adult content, which is why they have ratings on movies and TV shows, and they should have the same shit with the fucking shit that we talking about. If it's not being played by the commercial DJ and we getting it from the underground, then that's exactly what you would get. The hood, ratchet, real story. You're not going to get no hold back on the curse words. And yes, we all was a product of poor righteous teachers, or Public Enemy, or X-Clan, but they never sold as much as the motherfuckers talking about the 40s and the dope and the drugs and the guns.
So that's what it boils down to, though, Josie. It's like sales. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it always boiled down to. If we delude ourselves into anything else, then we crazy. And my thing is, even if we listen to conscious rap and then we turn on TV and watch some bullshit, or we go to the movies and we watch Terminator or Expendables or any of that shit, fucking Trespasser, we still advocating for the violence and the dumb shit. It's still out there. It's still being pushed and fed to us. And the war within each of us is to be good or evil. You have to choose differently. It's a lot of us that's not. And that's a problem. But we can't put it on the content. It's on the choice to utilize the content however it affects you. And unfortunately, like you said, it's being pushed in a negative fashion, only negative shit. We not being given the opportunity to look at nothing positive or hear nothing positive. We don't talk about that kind of shit.
Yeah, I think the thing is the higher ups who actually push the music, the actual companies that own the actual record companies.
Even
it's
that,
like,
though, we blaming the record companies. A lot of that shit independent now. They don't want deals.
What I'm saying is this, though, Josie. If they'll push it to us, but they won't push it to their own. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a record,
they the biggest buyers of that shit. If you look at the market of any music,
they'll buy it, yeah, because it's like forbidden for them to get it. So it's
the banned fruit, the forbidden fruit. Absolutely.
Shout out, man, to the women MC. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning, from Roxanne, Shantae, all the way up to today, to the broad. Lord J was saying, "Put up your dukes," whoever she is.
Scarlett.
You know what I'm saying?
Sent y'all some of her shit too. Check her out. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Vibe Called Bless. And again, shout out Nikki and Cardi. I ain't got no problem with none of that. I just need, again, for the rest of y'all to step up y'all game and stop being followers and be a leader. Give me something I haven't heard before. Because remixing wet ass pussy ain't gonna work.
So yeah, man, thanks again for tuning in to Men of a Certain Age. This is episode 22, Deuce. Once again, I'm with my mans and them. I got my man Josie and my man P. P, you got anything to say before we ride out of here, man?
Yeah, before we bounce, I got one thing to say. Positive energy always corrects errors. Stay positive, man. That's peace right there. Peace.
P-E-A-C-E.
Yes, sir.
For me, again, another week, I just want to say, for sure, like, subscribe, share, comment, tell us how y'all feel. Tell us which opinion you think is right, wrong, or indifferent. Give us a different third viewpoint or something else to think about if you got something else to add to the conversation. Same time, I heard a quote this week that I want to share with everybody, and it was one of the MCs that we talked about that didn't need to use curse words, and the quote was, constant elevation causes expansion. If you keep learning, you keep pushing yourself, you keep trying, you'll get to where you want to be and get what you need and reach your goals. So shout out to everybody out there doing that.
So yeah, man, again, thanks again for y'all tuning in. The ones that tune in and the ones that is tuning in, man, tell your friend and tell your friend to tell a friend to tune in and checking us out, man. We're going to continue to elevate and grow as we keep going, man. Also, as we have an important date coming up to us, man, DJ Shays, we're going to do a tribute to him, and we're going to attempt to go live during that episode. So we want the participation for those who are watching. We're going to put a number up there and for y'all to call in and share, especially if you knew Shays, so y'all can tell us the stories that you have about our boy, man. Other than that, man, we'll get back to you next week with the date that we're going to go live. And then from there, as long as the love and the trust is there, we're going to continue to grow. And as for always, man, DJ Shay forever, man.
Peace.
One more thing, y'all. If anybody got footage of DJ Shay or any videos or any pictures that you want to share, make sure you hit the page and post them.
Peace.
Peace and love.